Good afternoon. What an introduction, Paris. Thank you so much. Well, I will give you a talk for around 20 minutes, and later on we will have a great opportunity. I will have the chance of interviewing one of the greatest bullfighters in Spain, Francisco Rivera Ordóñez. We will have a nice conversation. We will see how we can translate what he knows from the field of bullfighting into the field of entrepreneurship. And as Paris said, I have always been very, very interested in how we human beings could be happier, how we could get rid of some of the pain, of some of the suffering that we unfortunately experience throughout our lives, and especially how we can connect humanism with biology. So when Sofia and Maria, and thank you so much for inviting me to be here in such an outstanding event, gave me this title, The Keys to Succeed, I felt very humble, because who am I to tell you what you have to do in order to succeed? But I think that, fortunately enough, I don't know where I have to point this. Okay. Fortunately enough, these are timeless principles. Like good books, they resist the passage of time. So what we're going to do is to review together some of these timeless principles so that we truly can learn. Okay, how we could improve our chances to be successful in life. First of all, is dare to be creative. Dare to be creative is easy to say, is very challenging to do for several reasons. Okay, first of all, we have to look at the masters of creativity, which are children. And children love to play and explore. Imagine that I ask, please have a look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbor. So Diego, look at Xavi. Okay, look at your neighbor. Let's imagine that I ask you to draw your neighbor. And you end up with something like this. I don't know. Okay. And then you show your neighbor your drawing, and you look at your neighbor's face and say, I'm very sorry, I didn't want to offend you. I'm not an artist, so please forgive me. Well, when you do this exercise with children, they are very, very happy. They are very proud about their drawing, because they consider that drawing has to be something playful, something joyful. There are some statistics. I had a chance of meeting Sir Ken Robinson in different places. He's one of the most outstanding researchers in the field of creativity, and he shared with me some of his studies. You know, if you have children between 3 and 5 years old, 98%, when you give them a creativity test, 98% pass the test. But when they are between 8 and 10 years old, thank you, only 32% pass the test. Only 32%. And when they are between 13 and 15 years old, only 10% pass the test. Who among you is older than 15 years old? Okay. 2%. So we have to understand why. It doesn't mean that creativity is dead within us. It's dormant, and we need to awake it and unleash the true power that it has. We need to get rid of the fear of making mistakes. It's impossible to be creative if we are fearful about judgments, about the consequences of making mistakes. Lack of a playful approach. I had the chance of visiting Google. They invited me to Mountain View last summer. It was an incredible experience. And you could feel in that atmosphere that playfulness, that sense of joy. They know very well that when we create an atmosphere, a context of playfulness and joy, creativity just shows up, because it's hidden within us. We know a lot of things about... Okay. We know a lot of things about creativity because we have fMRI, which allows us to see what's going on in the brain when we feel fear, when we are in panic, when we are worried about something. And we know as a fact, not as an opinion, that when we are kidnapped by fear, creativity cannot show up, no matter how much creativity we have inside us, within us. So it's important to remember that the fear of making mistakes and being judged blocks our creative potential. And we all have a responsibility to create atmospheres in which people have this sense of playfulness, that we can make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and get back on track. So how we interpret those mistakes is the essence. Your potential is much greater than your performance. That's essential, and all leaders know that. All leaders know that. Leaders address the potential, not the performance. Our eyes, our ears perceive the performance. Only our mind is able to sense, to feel the extraordinary, to feel the potential. And unless you feel that everybody around you has a hidden potential, you will not call that potential. So our true potential will not awake and fall and show how powerful it is. Your advantage is not in your possession, but in your disposition. This is a message for people who are not holding let's say, quote-unquote, important position at a certain company, or who are creating a project which is not well known, that doesn't have a lot of prestige. Remember that. Your advantage is not in your possession, but in your attitude, in your disposition, in your willingness to take risk as your greatest chance, to learn from your failures, to keep going, to keep having faith in yourself, no matter what you are feeling and no matter what are the circumstances you are in. Second, be passionate about your project. Teresa Mobile, she is a great woman, a great scientist. She works at Harvard in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She is the person who has discovered the deep relationship between passion and creativity. You cannot be creative, at least as creative as you are called to be, if you are not passionate about something. Passion is enthusiasm, is the thrive, the eagerness to create something new, to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep improving yourself. We know now as a fact, not as an opinion, that creativity is a result of cooperation between the two sides of the brain. We have the left side of the brain, the left hemisphere, which is responsible for all the analytical process. When you go deep, trying to study, reflecting upon a certain problem, a certain challenge, you read books, you keep reading books, you keep thinking, you keep analyzing. But only if you are passionate, the information will go straight to the right side of the brain, the right hemisphere, which is the gate to the subconscious mind. The right side starts to work in a different fashion, which when we use electrodes, is alpha waves, and then suddenly, without expecting it, out of the blue, comes a burst of a special rhythm called the gamma rhythm, which comes from the right side of the brain, the right temporal lobe, and then you have your breakthrough, your eureka moment, your aha moment. Oh my God. All that work that you have been doing for a long time gave finally the reward, that burst of gamma waves, which shows you the possibility, the opportunity that's opening up in front of your eyes. See this video, it's a short video, and I will explain what it is about afterwards. A dream. He wanted to create joy, to spread playfulness around the world, and he didn't have any idea how he could do that. So he had a conversation with his girlfriend, and they decided, with the help of a musician, to create this melody and to go around the world dancing and filming his dancing. And of course, a lot of people look at him and say, oh my God, what a weird guy. Where's he coming from? But you know, time went by and people were waiting for him, like in Spain and other countries. Now he has more than 20 million followers. So don't be afraid of being crazy, because craziness can be a gate of something really outstanding, something amazing. You know, William Shakespeare, he was such a genius, such a wise man. He said, in life, like in theater, there are not small roles, only poor actors. Do not compare your role with somebody else. Try to be the best actor that you can be. Amazing. Have the courage to defy the odds and the commitment to keep going through. Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, said, it's much better to light a candle than to curse darkness. Don't waste time blaming darkness. Light a candle. Do something amazing. Winners never quit, quitters never win. That's a principle. To dream is free. When you start to transform your dream in a reality, you will have to be willing to pay the price. Winners never quit, quitters never win. Greatness is not defined by not failing. It is defined by not quitting. So, we're talking about stamina. We're talking about character. We're talking about guts. About standing up, even if you feel the pain, and keep walking with all your soul without losing your enthusiasm. I'm going to read it. If your life is ever going to change for the better, you will need to take chances. You will need to meet new people, explore new ideas, and move along unfamiliar pathways. Like these people.
Here's for the crazy ones.
The crazy ones.
The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently.
When you get rid of excuses, you start to get results. It's so easy to bite the hook, to find excuses to justify why we cannot get results. But this is a mirage. It's something created by our egoic mind. Okay, excuse, I see you. But I decide, because I live by choices, not by emotions. I decide to get rid of all of you, all the excuses, all the justifications, all the reasons why I cannot succeed in life. And I choose to get results. And my focus goes to a completely different direction. And then I start to see new opportunities and possibilities. Your comfort zone, my comfort zone, our comfort zone, where the magic happens. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. We know that. We know that. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. When you go to the gym, in case that you go to the gym and you start to lift weights, you know that you reach a point when the stretching is painful, and without breaking the muscles, because we are not talking about being insane, but when we keep lifting the last weight, then we really grow. Is it easy? No. But the reward is outstanding. Believe in yourself. Do not think about limitations. Think about possibilities. Everything has to do with how works our mind. Is our mindset which creates the world that we see, which creates the emotions that we perceive, which inspires us to reach a dream or to consider that that dream is too far from our reach. So work on your mind. Use your focus to look for possibilities, not for limitations, not for excuses, not for reasons, not for justifications. And your focus is your power. You were not born to be average. You know that. You know that. Look at me. You know that. You were not born to be average. You were born to be outstanding, but you got to believe in that. And it's not about other people telling you how great you are. It's about you telling yourself, I was born to be outstanding. Outstandingness is my destiny. I was not born to be average. Learn to cooperate. Look how beautiful this cooperation. You will never know how high you can fly until you open your wings. Thank you so much.
Just a few words.